So here we go. Ancient Lake. I'm having some visual difficulties for some reason. There we go.
Ancient Lake.
Oh, here we go. Ancient Lake. Pretty straightforward track. You saw Trident get a double boost there because there's two blue balloons, and if you touch them at the same time, you'll get a double boost. But unfortunately, he does miss a couple that second blue balloon on the track, putting him a little bit behind Sweenerdog. Pretty much in this, there won't be much of a discrepancy pending a major mistake from these characters. Both of these racers will be moving on car using a mechanic that we call A-tapping, in which the racers will be mashing A on the keyboard in rhythm. It's not just mashing to mash, because you're able to hold, you're able to get a higher acceleration speed by just holding down, due to a little hint that Taj gives, or the genie of the island in the race. Both players pulling off the canyonless trick, Fossil Canyon, where you pick up the blue balloon as well as picking up the zipper, and you're able to kind of fly around the canyon and chain it between the balloons. Canyonless, we kind of take on a hint on the name from the Super Mario 64 trick Canyonless. Trident pulling off a nice Canyonless and takes the lead on Sweener, who had a little bit of a rough time. Fossil Canyon is a pretty difficult car track, especially for Dino Domain. So yeah, Trident missing the counter drift, unfortunately, maybe giving Sweener some ability to catch up here. They do finish about the same, 105 from Sweener there. Maybe not exactly what he'd want, and this is a very close race so far indeed. I don't expect these players to get too far away from each other right away. Dino Domain usually has similar times, pending like a mishap on Hot Top Volcano, which I'll explain when we get there when we get their next track. Looks like Sweener had a difficulty, probably bonked on Jungle Falls lap 1. This is a very technical track, as you see Trident hitting the jump and then just bonking into the thing, allowing Sweener pretty much to catch up exactly to him. I'm gonna say they both bonked there on the laps. So yeah, going back to A-tapping, pretty much you get a slight boost of acceleration when you let go of A. Which you'll notice they won't be pressing the A button when they go over each zipper. Here we go, Hot Top Volcano. Our first out of bounds, you'll see both players pick up the balloons there and go out of bounds. There's actually a fast strat for it, which is a little bit more risky if you don't get it, and you risk like completely losing time. So it's a little bit easier just to do it right off the bat here. Fast strat's advantage is that you get some bananas, but both players pretty much neck and neck here. Trident a little bit ahead of Sweener. And yeah, pulling ahead a little bit. He's going to have about a second advantage here. But again, super tight heading out of Dino Domain into our next trophy, Sherbert Island. It looks like Trident's going to get a 48 and a 49, and Sweener getting a 50. So they're about 1 second apart. This is exactly what I like to see. Heading into... Oh, I should explain something with Plane before we head into Sherbert Island. Both players are moving with barrel rolls because you actually gain speed. You're able to generate speed by barrel rolling and not pressing the A button down at all. Here we go. Whale Bay, the first hover track. Hover is very unique in its movement. You'll notice these players will be moving back and forth on their hovercrafts, and that is because, and that's a technique called snaking, where I guess the game... Ooh, Sweener having a little bit of a rough time here on lap 1. He did miss the blue balloon, which that's actually very difficult to get. So not many times will people get it consistently. That's why a lot of times you'll just see people storing that second. Well, we see people storing this first balloon. Both players successfully getting it on lap 2. They'll be storing this blue balloon. It's a just in case. Looks like Trident's gonna get a 50 whale bay, and Sweener a little bit behind gets a 52 whale bay. So a 2-second difference between the two players or so. This will be more of an actual general indicator. He's actually up about 5 seconds on. He's actually up about 5 seconds on Sweener right here. Onto Pirate Lagoon, the second track, which emphasizes a lot of turning and making and your ability to turn and also kind of stay square with the zippers, because the zippers for hover and plane tend to want to a little bit of a harsh bonk, some harsh bonking and losing of speed for Trident, but it looks like Sweener's also having a bit of difficulty on Pirate Lagoon himself. Trident being about being quite a few seconds ahead, but he does have a mishap there, missing the grabbing that extra balloon before he was able to use his boost balloon, his blue balloon. Most times you'll only see the racers using blue balloons, and occasionally they'll use shield balloons, depending on the situation. So on to Crescent Island, the first car track of Sherbert Island. A test that's pretty testing with your drifting. You'll see why when we get up to the ship part. So both players are going to grab their balloons here. So right here, you're going to see Trident looks. He's going to do a sharper turn and a nice counter drift to grab the balloons. And then that section right there is actually pretty tricky. Both players getting it very nicely. Sweener actually gaining just a little bit of time on Trident there. Both players, they're very close, honestly. After Pirate Lagoon. Both players having a really nice Crescent Island here. You can see just how much skill it takes for the drifting. And again, Sweener just having an ever so slightly faster lap than Trident, but Trident still maintaining lead. It's not enough, really. Oh man, this pesky AI getting in Trident's way, allowing Sweener to get even more time on him here. But they should finish with about the same time. Looks like they're both going to get 109s or 110s. 108, 109 for Trident, 108 for Sweener. Sweener gaining about a second on that course. On to Treasure Caves. This course is generally considered one of the most difficult tracks in the game, and honestly one of the worst tracks. I think so. Here's Sweener should be able to take a lead on Trident, because Trident missed the balloon and Sweener didn't. But they're actually about neck and neck right here. The reason this track is so inconsistent is because we don't really know what to do with the blue balloon, which is the most optimal way. You'll see both players using it in the same spot here. Actually, looks like Sweener missed the balloon there and Trident didn't, so he's going to take another lead. But the AI getting in his way, in Trident's way, where he wasn't able to actually get over to the zipper. He kept getting bumped, so he just moved forward, which is smart. Looks like Trident's going to get a 42 here, and Sweener having a bit of difficulty. Not going to be the time he wants, but he's going to get a 46, losing about 4 seconds to Trident there. But still neck and neck. Very, very close heading into our next trophy race, Snowflake Mountain. The Snow World. And this is Everfrost Peak, our first inbounds plane track. If done correctly, these players won't be holding A very much at all. But they'll just be chaining barrel rolls and boosts together for the duration of the track. Man, Trident's having a really good first lap, and it looks like Sweener also is having a decent first lap himself. A little bit of trouble. You see what can happen when you lose speed on plane from Sweener. It really is difficult. You lose quite a few seconds doing that. Trident's having a really good Everfrost Peak here. Oh man, that's pretty good. A lap 220 lap, which is a really good. And Sweener having a lot of difficulty. You see the difficulty that Trident's having. Sweener's having. This track really separates players in these races. A 102 for Trident, and Sweener's just struggling. Looks like he's gonna lose about 10 seconds or more, probably more. Oh man, you see what a plane bonk does. Plane bonks. Yes, Sweener did beat Halul Tatsoft. He did defeat him, and he did win in 2 races. It was pretty close in race 2. Race 1, not so much because Halul had some problems with out of bounds, which is still a kind of a deciding factor here in this race. Is that that the out of bounds can be really punishing on windmill planes or Spaceport Alpha. Our last 2 out of bounds, more likely to be windmill plane, but these players both on Walrus Cove now. And this is a pretty, can be pretty inconsistent at times, especially with terrain in this section. But overall, it's a pretty good track. The first section's pretty easy to go through, but then it's like section here. A lot of players opt to save that second blue balloon for that point. Oh man, Trident going up the hill and just not being able to, and the game just putting him up the hill far enough where he came down and pretty much his wheel got caught in the ground for like probably 1 frame or so. But still having a pretty good Walrus Cove so far for him, and Sweener is also moving along. He's I would say it's probably rough for what Sweener actually wants. A 125 from 125 from Trident as he moves on to Snowball Valley, one of the shortest tracks in the game. Yeah. So Sweener's also going to get a 126. So altogether, not a bad time at all for a race for Walrus Cove. Because any number of things can go wrong on that track. And so this little bridge section here that Sweener and Trident are both going through, as you see that Sweener's about Trident's about 1 lap ahead. And that's going to happen on a track like this. It won't be so prevalent on longer tracks, obviously. As you see Trident having a lot of issues here with the tunnel section. Sweener not as much, so Sweener's definitely catching up here. See, it's moving pretty well. Like, all this movement that Sweener's doing in this tunnel is not as easy as you think. You pretty much are, if you take, and he does get squished by the snowball there, if you take that tunnel, like, in like, the wrong way, you'll bonk, you'll have a lot of issues keeping speed, or you'll just fly, and you might miss that blue balloon, which is pretty important for the jumping into the valley. Onto Frosty Village, the last track of Snowflake Mountain. This track is a laggy mess. I'll explain why none of these people have music, and that's due to the lag factor from the music. And on courses especially like Frosty Village, lag really affects this track because of the snow effect that you see when you're outside, which creates lag in itself, as well as the AI themselves, as well as the AI creating lag. So it's a good for Trident to avoid the zipper, most likely, even though it's not ideal for speed, because there's a spike ball right in his way. You'll see a lot of spike balls in here in this track. Sweener's going to have a 23-second lap, as he's going to boost on. Most times these players will just be boosting after they get down the hill. Sometimes you'll see a player boosting before the zipper to go flying. I didn't actually get to catch Trident's time, but it looks like he's still about 10 or so seconds ahead of Sweener. Sweener's going to finish with a 114 on Frosty Village. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So here we go, Boulder Canyon, the last hover track of ATR. And you'll see Trident intentionally bonking there in order to, because hover bonking isn't quite as bad from the side, so he's actually going to get boosted up and around the hill, which is usually very slow to take just A tapping or even just holding A. It's a lot slower. So you want to get they want to get both of these blue balloons and boost into the third one, and then boost up on around the wall. It looks like Sweener has some problems here. So he's going to have a 28 lap. Probably not ideal for what he wants for lap 1. Because he's going to take the bonk there. That's pretty solid. 24 lap from Sweener, or from Trident, really nice. This is my favorite hover track of ATR. Especially the watch. I'm not so great at it. Trident, that boost section's really odd and kind of bad. You don't. It's like we're not sure the exact ideal spot to do it because pretty much you just want to fly up the hill. As I unfortunately just missed Trident's time. I would say it's probably somewhere around a 120 or more. Looks like Sweener's going to finish with also about a 120 here. 119 most likely. On to Greenwood Village, a very fun technical car track, very drift heavy. Getting these 3 bananas here are not as easy as it looks, especially with the terrain bouncing you around, but Trident getting all 3 of them, which is very good. He's able to get his 9 bananas. Well, and bananas are very important, especially to get 10 of them, because it increases your top speed and acceleration by up to about 10% total for each banana, so about 1%. Yeah, it looks like Sweener might have had some troubles on lap 1, but maybe not. I think, I mean, Trident's having a really good Greenwood Village so far. You see just the difficult dodging spike balls, dodging the terrain and not bonking is a bit of difficulty there for Trident. And this might be a good opportunity for Sweener to gain some ground, gain a couple seconds on him here. Onto Windmill Plains. I want to focus on this as Sweener is going to get a 111. You're going to see Trident going for the out of bounds here on Windmill Plains. Both players will be doing this. You grab as many bananas as you can. You grab a blue balloon. You just store that first blue balloon. And then you boost here and you get it. Oh no! Trident misses the out of bounds. So he's going to have to go around the long way. Let's see if Sweener can get it. If Sweener can get it here, he catches up quite a bit on him. And Sweener doesn't get it either. So both players missing the out of bounds. Very interesting. The difference is going to be about the same. As Trident bonks here, both players are going to go for it again, I think. No, yeah, he is. He's just going to go for a faster way around because he doesn't need bananas. So hopefully Trident can get it here, and hopefully Sweener can also. He does get it. So Trident gets out of bounds here. Let's watch. The difficulty of this track does not end there. It actually doesn't because of how difficult. Oh no, Sweener. Sweener misses it again. I am not sure if he's going to go for it on lap 3. It is still a slight time save to go for it on lap 3. As we see Trident about to end with a 127. Obviously not what he wants. You want to be getting the out of bounds on lap 1. As Trident enters Haunted Woods. Let's watch and hope that Sweener can get this. Sweener does get this, so very fortunate for him. He actually does get this, gets a slight time save, and everything. So he's gonna finish with a 145. Major time loss for Sweener Dog there. Haunted Woods, a very fast card track. There's a lot of fast card tracks in this game. Almost every single trophy race has a fast car track like this, or at least a fast track in general. This being Dragon Forest. It looks like a 50 from Trident. So you'll see that he's going to boost here. He's going to pretty much just fling himself down the hill section there. He'll be pulling backwards on his analog stick. And trying to just fly down the hill. And if you do it right, you get a really nice boost down that area. As Trident has started. Oh man, so once even more loss, unfortunately for Sweener, as he loses 1 second there. Now into Future Funland, both players. Trident is on Space Dust Alley, arguably the most difficult track in the game, because of the large amount of ways that you can bonk going through these tunnels. This is a nice 28 lap for Trident to start. This is another track which can separate a lot of players. So really good players will usually have that have good SDAs will usually gain quite a bit of time on their opponent, as we see that happening. Sweener having some difficulties with the balloons in the first part of lap 1. Oh man, Trident missing the zipper, but he does get all the balloons, which is good. He just used them. Oh man, he went to boost and he missed it, so we got the magnet. He didn't magnet ahead for a little slight gain, and the balloon was stolen, unfortunately. So not quite the Space Dust Alley that Trident wants, but he'll be happy enough with this. He'll be happy to make it out of Space Dust Alley with a 122. Sweener's second lap looks a lot better than his first lap, honestly. So really good for him. That's a nice 28 lap. Oh man. So you notice that he just barely missed that balloon, and he should have probably gotten it, honestly, but he clipped through it. But he just clipped through it because he was going too fast. Max, I'm not sure what the max bananas are. There might not be a max on bananas, but as Sweener finishes up Space Dust Alley, Trident already on Dark Moon Caverns, the first car track of Future Funland. Track is full of little areas to bonk, so a lot of players will refer to this track as Bonk Moon Caverns. You'll see coming up here for Sweener that you can if you don't take that section right in that tunnel, you can just bonk quite a bit. The crater section's a big it's a big culprit of bonks. Neither player bonking in their laps so far. Trident's having a pretty solid Dark Moon Cavern so far, and Sweener as well, honestly. Sweener missing a few balloons, but otherwise he's doing pretty good. Oh, and there's what happens with the craters, that you can just bonk there super easily. Oh man, Trident loses his balloon there. As we see Sweener having some lag issues for some reason. But there we go, it's better now. It looks like Trident's going to get a 137. He does get the 137. It was a possible 136. A slightly rougher second lap for Sweener than Trident had. Both of these players' PBs differ in about probably 30 to 40 seconds. With Trident having a 24:52 PB, and Sweener being somewhere around 25:20, 25:24 so for his PB. As Trident's now on Star City, the second to last track of this ATR race, of every race. So it looks like, pending some issues with the Spaceport Alpha out of bounds, Trident should have a pretty good time, or Trident should win. Just skill alone, Sweener won't win this race, but there's still one more out of bounds to do, where things can go wrong. Sweener now on second lap of Star City, and Trident about to finish up the track, looking like it's going to be a 113 here, 114. Okay. So you'll see this. So you'll see the city section is actually pretty heavy with drifting, and some sharp turns. I really like Star City. The main issue is going to be the bridge. For some newer players, is the bridge, like staying on the bridge. Oh man, some bonk bonking on Spaceport Alpha, the last track of Future Funland and of this race. You'll see Trident pick up this balloon, the shield, and then he's gonna clip out of bounds there. That's the last trick, and it's only from the Japanese cartridge where there is no texture underneath. I guess they just never put an oversight for the Japanese cartridge on it. However, I think there's like 1 or 2 other cartridges. I think 1.1 and I do think 1.1 cartridge has it. Oh no, Trident getting a wrong way there. This is what I mean, where things can kind of go wrong in Spaceport Alpha, where you can miss a trigger and it puts you behind. So Sweener also gets the out of bounds. However, I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Trident here. Looks like Trident's going to get about a 25.50, 25.45. As Sweener finishes with a Trident finishes with a 25.45. Sweener should finish up very shortly here. So congratulations to Trident on winning race 1. And looks like Sweener's going to finish with about with a low 26 time here. Which, considering the amount of issues that he had with something like with windmill planes, I think that was probably the main issue. Otherwise, they played pretty similarly, especially since Trident did miss lap 1. Windmill planes is a huge factor in every single race. So, Trident tail, his screen says 25.48, but his actual time is about a 25.45. Sweener finishing with a 26.10 in race 1. So we are gonna wait. Yeah, Windmill Plains was difficult for both of you. Like Trident said, he missed it. You guys both missed it lap 1, and he did get it lap 2, and you got it lap 3. Otherwise you guys were playing pretty similarly in time, and I think that you would have had a shot. I think Windmill Plains was unfortunate, but both of you guys are good enough to get it next time, and hopefully we get a close race. But yeah, so just waiting on, yeah. So good. Just gonna switch rooms. And then race 2 will be starting in a little bit of time. So hope everyone's having a good night so far. Hope everyone's enjoying the race. Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of people call Windmill Plains Windmill Pains. That's definitely one of them. The out of bounds is the most difficult trick probably the most difficult trick in ATR, possibly in the game. There are some very weird adventure stuff, but mostly for ATR, it's definitely Windmill Plains. Because getting out of bounds is difficult, but like for newer people who don't quite know the route, it is difficult to stay in bounds because of the constant deloading of the screen. All right. Looks like both players are. Looks like the second race is going to start soon. Tridenttail taking race 1. We'll see if Sweener can take race 2 and send us to a race 3, or Trident will advance to the finals against Giz. And the race should be starting any second now. So we're again going to be starting in Dino Domain on Ancient Lake. Also, again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will do my best to answer. Ancient Lake, here we go. Tridenttail versus Sweenerdog, race 2. Looks like Trident's stream is a little bit ahead of Sweener's stream. Trident again getting the double boost to start Ancient Lake here. Ooh, almost getting stomped by the Dino because he was so fast to get there through the double boost. Really good first lap from Trident. A pretty good first lap also from Sweener. This track, there shouldn't be much separation between the players in the end. I don't think. Both players having, oh no, Sweener missing that blue balloon is going to put him behind just a little bit. It looks like this is going to be a 36, a very nice 36. So it's going to be about a 2-second lead. How much is the time of there? I think it's going to be about 26 minutes from start to finish, at most. But for these guys, both players, Trident having a 24:52 PB, but just had about a 25, a mid 25 race, and Sweener having a low 26 race. Both players doing the canyonless. Sweener did miss the balloon, however. So we're on the Fossil Canyon, the first, or a pretty difficult car track. And we're going to see Trident again go for a canyonless trick. He's definitely a little bit ahead of Sweener here. Let's see if Sweener... Oh, no, Sweener missing the zipper for canyonless. This trick being named after Super Mario 64's canyonless trick. The pond jump there, while it might look easy, these players make it look easy. It's not easy at all to get a good jump, to get a good bounce off of the... looks like Trident's going to finish with a 1:01, a very good race time for Trident. And Sweener gets canyonless lap 3, picks up a 1:05, so that's a 4-second difference there. So he's about 6 seconds ahead or so. Actually, 7 seconds difference between the two of them, 7 or 8 seconds. As a nice low 13 lap on Jungle Falls. This is a very technical track, but Trident flying through this track. Both players will be flying through this track. Looks like Sweener might have had some slight difficulties, but he did get a 14 lap Looks like he's having a much better second lap here. Just dodge the shields. There you go. 12:55. Great lap for him. Trident's going to finish with a 37. Sweener, unfortunately, missing the zipper there. So he's going to get a 40. So that's another 3 seconds loss, unfortunately, for Sweener. This can all be made up. They're still pretty close. We just saw Trident get the out of bounds for Hot Top Volcano. And Sweener's going to get it himself right here. This is a pretty easy out of bounds trick. And when you're out of bounds, all you have to do is be watching your screen for your indicators and make sure that you're hitting the triggers. Because you can pretty easily actually wrong way on a turn like that because you missed the trigger. Pretty nice fast second lap for Trident. Looks like Sweener's also having a pretty fast second lap as well. He'll get probably about the same lap time. It's a 15 instead of a 14. So a 48 for Trident. That is a fantastic time. Sweener will finish probably with a slightly slower time, but not much slower. So I've got probably somewhere around a 50 or a 51. So a 51 as Trident ends Dino Domain with probably about a 10-second lead, or even more. A lot more than last race. Trident definitely having a very solid Dino Domain, and Sweener having a little bit of difficulty. So on to Sherbert Island, the first hover track. You'll see these players snaking back and forth, or moving their hovercraft back and forth in a technique that we call snaking. This is indeed a best 2 out of 3. So if Trident wins this here, he moves on to the finals. This is the semifinal. This is the second semifinal matchup of the tournament. Giz and Bandow raced yesterday, and Giz defeated Bandow 2-0. So having about the same first lap, but you can see he's already about a lap down, unfortunately. Just ever so slightly under a lap between the two of them. As finishing up with Trident finishes up with a 51. So hopefully, oh no, Sweener having a lot of difficulties there as Drumstick actually got in his way, so he's gonna lose he's gonna lose quite a bit of time. He loses about only a second actually, a 52. On to Pirate Lagoon. A track that very turn reliant. I'll kind of go through a little bit better of an explanation of snaking. The reason that these guys are turning back and forth is because you gain a little burst of speed when you turn in hover. I would assume it's to probably make the vehicle seem more smoother when you're using it. But if you keep constantly turning back and forth, you'll constantly be gaining speed, which allows you to move as fast as you can in the hovercraft. Both players seem to be having a pretty a slightly rough Pirate Lagoon compared to last race, I should say. Oh no, Trident actually getting shot, so he's gonna end up with a 103. Sweener looks like he has some difficulty with the balloons there, but there's still a chance that he actually gets some time save on. Yeah, he does. He gets a 59. That's some pretty good time save, and much needed time save for Sweenerdog, as he's only going to be about 10 seconds behind. So that's a good time save. That's a nice 4-second time save. On to Crescent Island, a track that's pretty fun, and it has the 2 turn sections that are has a couple of turn sections that are difficult. What you saw Sweenerdog do when he turned the corner, you kind of launch yourself down the ramp section with by holding back on the joystick. You're able to launch yourself. Both players not having much difficulty at all turning around the sharp turn section. That's actually a very difficult section to do. The players, when they're doing that, they're drifting, and then they press B a couple of times. As you do see, sometimes that can happen. What happened to Sweener there, where you clip up to the ramp a little bit, which loses a lot of speed and time. As nice 109 from Trident on Crescent Island. As he moves on to Treasure Caves, one of the most a very inconsistent short track, and you'll kind of see why with their balloon use. And there's I've seen this balloon used about 3 different ways only. A Trident does get it there. He does get the connection. The whole goal is to actually move. Is to actually like use the balloon and connect between 2 zippers. So these guys both choose to use and Trident getting it 2 times out of getting it both times so far, having a very, very fast treasure cave. So it looks like Sweener having quite a bit of difficulty. Again, this is a very difficult track. Oh man, Sweener or Trident getting a really, really good 39. 39 in a race is insane. And that might actually I'm not quite sure if that's a PB, but definitely was very fast from Trident. As you can see, Sweener kind of struggling through this track, and he'll probably finish with about a 47. So you can see that's an insane time save. That's 8 seconds in itself. As Trident moves on to Everfrost Peak, the first inbound planes track. Ideally, the players won't be holding A much at all in this race. They'll be chaining their barrel rolls by double tapping the R button and moving their analog stick left and right, depending on where they need to do. So that's a nice fast 21 lap from Trident on lap 1. Sweener opting for a little bit more of a riskier turn strat there, but you do get 2 bananas, so he will be going slightly faster. It looks like he's having a much better Everfrost than he was last time, which is very nice to see. He's going to get a 22 first lap. And Trident getting a second lap 20. Luckily, that tree bonk was neither of those players. That was actually just a CPU. Oh no. You can see just the difficulty that you can get just from missing that one bump. Just from missing one zipper, one boost, the amount of time you lose. Another 102 from Trident. That's a very, very good Everfrost peak time in a race. As again, Sweener missing the zipper. That zipper is very difficult to get. He's gonna finish out with a much better EP than last time and get a 105. Onto Walrus Cove for Sweenerdog. This track is a very I don't know if it's necessarily difficult, but that last section there can be pretty difficult with the terrain. Nice 28 lap to start for Trident, as there's a lot of difficult turns, like getting those 3 bananas. A lot of times, most players have a lot of difficulty getting that. But most of the runners left in this race will be able to get it pretty easily. Sweener's having a much better Walrus Cove than he did last time. He doesn't have the balloon, but he does get a 29 first lap, which is only a second behind what Trident got. A nice 26 lap for Trident. You're going to see these players moving on the left side of the ramp every time they go around the loop. The reason is because it's actually fast. It's actually faster, and you can also kind of at the end push your cart off while drifting. As it looks like Trident's having a very, very good Walrus Cove. He's going to get about a 123 here. That's really solid. You see that little push off that Sweener got there? You can kind of just take a loop and go into a drift, which is ideal because drifting is a higher max speed than you would normally get. Unfortunately, Sweener all 3 laps missing the blue balloon. He's still going to get a pretty solid time, though, honestly. He'll probably get about a 124 or 125, actually. So that's a 125. Only a 2-second loss, and he did miss the balloon all 3 laps, but the rest of the race was very, very solid from him. Ooh, Trident pretty lucky there, not getting completely destroyed by the ground there on Snowball Valley. Very short track. The bridge section in particular, which Sweener went through, and Trident did miss the balloon. That balloon can be pretty difficult to get. Oh, avoiding the snowball. They're very nice by tridenttail. As he gets a 43. It looks like I would say both players are going to get about the same time here, as Sweener's having a very easy time going through this track as well. He does bonk there. Ooh. Apologies for... Wait, I don't know if you guys could actually hear that on my end, but I actually just got a follow in my ear. on my own channel for my alerts. Regardless, Frosty Village, a pretty. I think it's a pretty difficult card track. And we see Trident having a very nice time in that section. In the first section, which usually doesn't give a lot of difficulty. Sometimes this section, especially on lap 2, sometimes there's spike balls around that zipper that Trident just passed. In the so did Sweener as well. Also, just on lap 1 instead. 27 first lap from Sweener. Nice boost down. Nice zipper down, nice boost. I think it looks like Sweener's having a lot less problems on Frosty Village here than he did last time. Both players not getting any green balloon shenanigans, spike balls, oil slicks at all. Both are going to look to have a very good Frosty Village. Wow, that was a really... Oh, he actually boosted on his way down, so we got farther down the hill. I would say I was probably in a slight seeing... Ooh. So sometimes, you just noticed it on if you watch Sweener's screen, like he just missed that zipper, and even though he went right over it, it just didn't register that it hit. So he's going to get a 115. And that's the end of Snowflake Mountain. With Trident's now on Boulder Canyon. He does... Ooh, he misses that balloon. So let's see. Yep, so he does a backup... See, he takes the backup strat of just hitting both of the zippers. Usually you want to take that blue balloon and launch yourself up the... ow, that bonk, preventing the banana. He's not going to be happy with that. Not going to be happy with that lap, but... both... Now they're exactly about a lap apart, and I think Trident missed the second balloon or just had some difficulties with it there. Nice launch into the Castle River section. They're pretty much, we're almost just about mirrored, about one lap apart. Yeah, there's sometimes the texture on the boosts for zippers for car will produce a bump texture, so you'll just go right over it. There's more notorious zippers than that one. I actually never seen that bump. I've never actually seen that zipper be missed like that specifically, because that can just be difficult to get in general. Oh, Trident doing a nice job getting a 122, avoiding the log there. That must have been a really tense moment. Honestly, that's pretty tense. He's now on to Greenwood Village, as Sweener finishes up Boulder Canyon. That was the last hover track of this race. So Greenwood Village is a really cool technical track for drifting, as you see there. That whole section is pretty much all about drifting. Trident's gonna grab this shield here. He's gonna shield right before that zipper, because there's usually an oil slick or an oil slick or a spike ball or something that just wants to that the CPU place. It's never intentional, but we just kind of know that they have a habit of putting stuff there. Oh, good job on trying to not bump, to not actually have any bonk happen there. That's pretty bonk heavy area. You'll see both players doing it on lap 2 and 3. Sweener actually completely avoiding it, even though he had the shield. That's a type of strategy that you can have if you do miss the shields. You can go, just kind of go where you think it's not going to be, and where it's most likely not going to be. And so it's a 112 from Trident. Both players having a really good green. Both players having a very good and similar Greenwood Village. And for this last lap, a lot of the reason why players will use a shield is sometimes that the spike balls are actually up the hill more. So both players, I saw Sweener didn't quite get it there. But we're going to focus on Trident on windmill planes, and he's going to be going for the out of bounds trick here. Yes. Good luck to both competitors indeed. Going to windmill planes, the most difficult trick in the game. Trident gets it first try this time. He's got to be very happy about that. Last time, both he and Sweener had a lot of difficulty with this out of bounds. And if Sweener doesn't get it here, this is a lot of time loss for him. I hope he does get this. And again, the difficulty doesn't necessarily end with getting the out of bounds, but actually staying out of bounds. Sweener gets it. Beautiful. Beautiful out of bounds from both players. As you see, Trident having to be a little bit more careful there. He could have very well have clipped in if he did another barrel roll there. That little tiny section is very heart-wrenching. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Trident voided out. And now he has to go and redo lap 3. This is a huge, huge time save for Sweener, most likely. They'll finish at about the same time, possibly. But I think Sweener's actually going to take the lead here. It's going to be very close, though. Probably about a few seconds ahead. So this is exactly what I mean by windmill. By out of bounds, this can just completely change it. They're now about 2 seconds. Now Sweener's now about 2 seconds ahead of Trident. Going into Haunted Woods. I actually didn't catch what happened to Trident. Did anyone in the chat catch what happened? I assume he must have gone too far down. It looked like he was very far down, and he kind of just lost track of where he was, unfortunately. So he's not going to be happy about that at all. So there's still a couple more things. There's still a couple more tracks left. Obviously, there's all of Future Funland, which is I would say it was about even for the players. So I don't know, but Trident definitely had a better Space Dust Alley, which you'll see next as our last inbounds plane track in the start of Future Funland. Sweener getting a 49 Haunted Woods. And Trident's going to get a 48, so he does gain a second. Yeah, Trident went too low on windmill planes. If you go too low on a track out of bounds, you will void out and you'll go back to the starting line and you'll lose the lap that you had. So that's why it was such a big deal. And Trident just opted to go for the inbounds route at that point, which is unfortunate. But Trident, based off last time, I think Trident, especially with that, so Sweener bonking there, he did use his balloon as kind of like a backup plan, but Trident's probably gonna pass him here on very close on lap 1. It's gonna be super close, because of the bonk there. I would say they're about 1 second apart currently. Yeah, that's 4 seconds saved by Trident on 1 lap. Both players powering through. Sweener still maintaining a slight. Oh no! Trident with a huge bonk getting shot down by the plane. Very unfortunate. So that opens up a pretty good sized lead for Sweener here. So Sweener needs to keep both of these guys need really just solid laps here, finishing out. For Sweener to maintain his lead and for Trident to catch back up. Oh no, he got shot down again. That was really weird. And he gets the balloon stolen. Really bad, really unfortunate SDA here for Trident. With Sweener having a huge lead now. So yeah, anything can happen in ATR. On to Dark Moon Caverns. Wow. This is a really good race, honestly. Sweener having some bonk problems in this crater section. So I think Trident's definitely going to gain a little bit of time here. As long as he finishes out this lap strong, he should catch back up a little bit. 35 lap to start from Sweener, as he did bonk on the wall, entering out of the crater section. And you see him doing it again. It's kind of difficult to control your boost afterwards. So it looks like Trident's actually catching up really well now because of that. He's not far behind. This is going to be very close, heading into Star City and Spaceport Alpha. Man. Yeah, but both of these players usually have a pretty level head about themselves when racing. Nice 31 lap from Trident. Oh no! That's another place that's a pretty bonk heavy spot. Is the crater itself, and you just saw, him bonk, as you just saw Sweener bonk there. This is neck and neck now. This is probably 2 or 3. This is probably about 3 or 4 seconds apart, honestly. No, I'm sure Trident's not very happy, but he's made a very good recovery. Oh my gosh! He actually neck and neck. Holy cow! Sweener must have hit an oil slick into the wall. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he is. But so this is it, Star City with Trident having a lead, honestly. This has been a crazy race, everybody. Star City, this section here, the city section's very drift heavy. A lot of, like, the specific route that these players are taking are going to be the same. They're both going to be going, they're both not going to opt. There's a blue balloon in the corner that you can sometimes get. That's, I would say, more of a individual level or a time trial strat and IL strat. Both picking up the shield, because usually there is something like a spike ball there, which you just saw on Trident's screen. Sweener not having one, though. So you see that blue balloon you can in that corner on Sweener's screen after he boosts around the corner. Sometimes you can go for that. But again, a very, very close race for both just going here into spaceport. It can come down to how this race will come down to however fast these players can do the out of bounds for spaceport. But Trident is going to have an advantage here with a 115. Sweener getting a 119, so a 4-point. Wow. So that's crazy. Into Spaceport Alpha, the last track, the last out of bounds. This is it. This is gonna decide the race. Obviously, it's gonna decide the race. Oh no! It looked like Sweener actually missed. I think Sweener actually missed getting his thing here. He actually missed it. So let's see if Trident is gonna get out of bounds. So now we gotta watch Sweener. Can Sweener get it? The reason that you get your shield here is because you could possibly get shot down. Sweener gets it as well. Now let's see if Sweener can do this fast. There's a chance that if Sweener does this faster than Trident, that he will win. But oh no, Sweener missed the trigger in wrong Wade. Oh no. So I think that's gonna do it. Decided, unfortunately. Pending that Trident voids out, I think he will win in advance. This has been a crazy race. This is going to be a 25-32 for Sweener, for Trident, faster than his last one. Sweener also is going to get a better time than last race. Just unfortunate that he missed the trigger there. He finishes with a 25-49, so 13 seconds deciding. Yeah, too far up. Trident wins. Congratulations to tridenttail on advancing to the finals. And Sweener, we will get to see Sweener one more time. He'll race Bandau in the 3rd, 4th place match, which will hopefully be a good match. I hope both of these matches are going to be good. Yeah, but great races from both of these players. So let's take a look at... I want to take a look at the schedule and see what's coming up, if there's anything coming up shortly. Because I want to know if we have time for an interview with with one or both players now. I think there should be time. So if... So... Yeah. Nothing left on the channel. Cool. So if Trident or Sweener would like to come in and do an interview, if one or both would like to come in and do an interview and chat, it'd be cool. Otherwise I'll wrap it up. But hopefully we can get somebody in here for an interview. So yeah, that was a crazy race, everybody. There was a lot of back and forth after Windmill Plains, which was very exciting to watch. I know neither player is gonna be super happy with it. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Sweener. Oh, hello, Trident.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Congratulations, Trident. Congratulations, both of you, for the race. That last one was crazy.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't... Man. So, in case Sweener didn't know, Trident actually voided out on Windmill Plains lap 3. So he fell really far behind, and it was just mayhem from there.
Wow.
Yes, so...
Well, how do you feel about that, Trident?
Yeah.
You kind of had me going for a bit.
Yeah.
So I knew I would be like really far behind after that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have a spectacular space dust alley, so I thought like, okay, well, I guess we're going to game 3. That's fine. I have a game to give away, so
Yeah.
whatever. But then I got a 135
Dark Moon
Caverns, and I was like,
and actually, after Dark Moon, you guys pretty much finished neck and neck, because Sweener had a little bit of difficulty. I feel, yeah, Sweener. That last part was crazy. You hit an oil slick into the wall.
Dude,
I felt so bad when I saw it. I'm like, oh no, like his worst fears.
I was so salty after that.
I imagine. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
I got shot down twice in space.
You did. And I didn't even know how the second. I don't even know how you got shot the second one.
Yeah, it's a good thing my mic wasn't live, because I was yelling
many
various expletives.
Many profanities. I would have been too as well.
If I didn't get wrong weight in spaceport,
I know.
I might have been able to hit the lower, or more of a mid 25, and that
you would have. Yeah,
would have been awesome if we were that close. But
yeah, I saw that when I saw that, I was like, oh no, this is not gonna be as close, and I just felt bad when I saw that, because that's definitely difficult. But I was so happy to see you guys get the Windmill Plains first try. That one.
I was very happy.
It was very exciting to watch. Maybe not so exciting to play, but
no, it was fun.
But
I like racing Sweener.
You guys both improved your times from the first race. The first race times were a little bit higher.
That might be my only 25 I've actually had in any of these races.
I have no clue, but you did very well.
So
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, that run was actually like pretty fire, if I can do say so myself. You know, I got a 130 something Windmill Plains, and I usually get a low 1 minute.
Yep.
So take 30 seconds off of my.
That's a 2506. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a 341 Dino Domain, which is crazy. And then I got a 39 Treasure Caves.
39 Treasure Caves.
Which probably would have been a huge time save on PB.
Yeah, that was probably, I think, a 2-second save on PB.
Yeah.
But
maybe not on.
That wasn't an IL PB though, right?
No, it wasn't.
No, it was by a couple seconds.
No, he got that in the last race.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I had 37.
Yeah. So then I thought like, okay, well this pace is insane, and then Dragon Forest happened, and I was sad.
Yeah, Boulder Canyon. Yeah, you had a pretty rough Dragon Forest.
Yeah.
What did you have on Boulder Canyon?
I think it was a
122, which is pretty bad.
I'm self-conscious about my Boulder Canyon because I can almost always just a 120.
Yeah.
Not optimal, but
you had a pretty good Boulder Canyon though. I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay, 121. I'm sorry. Gosh. so much have to pay attention to actually your time sometimes in races.
So I guess I get to race Bando now.
Yeah, you race
Is that
Bandao
happening?
for third, fourth. Yeah, third, fourth place race is happening. He's gonna race Bandao and.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Third, fourth, yeah, and then TT versus Giz. Yeah, tridenttail versus Giz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giz does not get to have first place in this tournament unless he world records. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would actually be insane. That'd be insane if he actually got that.
Well, he almost did already. So.
Yeah, he was 3 seconds off world record racing against Tofu.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Should definitely be fun.
Should be humbling.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Everybody in chat, I highly recommend you check out the grand finals. There may be some difference in the PBs, but it's really cool to see, to compare times between two players. I know I had a couple friends watching tonight, and I actually suggested to them, because I don't think it's entirely obvious to some people watching the game.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on, compare the times on the tracks up in the right, the top right hand corner, and that's a really good way to keep track of who's, what the pace is like.
Definitely, yeah. And both of you guys are like, at least like when racing, and even your PBs aren't that far apart in the grand scheme of the actual leaderboards. But both of you guys very close in ATR, and everything.
Yeah, once you get to this level, like one major mistake could lose it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, those were the windmill planes for me today, but luckily I did everything else pretty decent, so I was able to get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's an unforgiving track.
Like, I have to say, I was pretty convinced we were going to Game 3 after Space Dust.
I thought so too.
123 Space Dust.
Yeah, and he had an even worse
Space Dust. I had a 125, I think, or something.
Oh, 125.
I'd love to do a Game 3.
Oh man,
that would have been a lot of fun. But
yeah,
we'll just have to do more races outside of the tournament context.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be awesome to see a lot of the community members doing more group races.
Yeah, we have had a couple of group races that weren't like for the tournament, I'm pretty sure, but I think some of them might have been just 4 people doing a race, and they were tournament matches in the process. Yeah. So, I guess, yeah, next race is Trident versus Giz, Sweener versus Bandao. Any last words before we head off?
Thanks for the race, man.
Thank you. It's been quite a journey, and you have been a wonderful teacher to me on the way. So this was a really fun match to lose, to say the least.
Yeah, and just to note, Sweener has really improved throughout the tournament, and it's been a joy to kind of see you get better and better. I'm pretty new to the community and everything, but just like watching you guys both improve has been awesome.
Yeah, if you told me at the beginning of this tournament that Sweener and I would be racing, I wouldn't be worried at all. But
yeah,
I was nervous for this race,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't do well with nerves. So yeah, he's a much different opponent than he was, 2 months ago.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I guess that about does it. Don't think there's anything else coming up on the tournament, coming up specifically on this channel.
I don't think Giz versus Trident is scheduled just yet.
No,
naturally.
I don't think either.
I decided to wait to schedule it until after our race.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that pretty sure there's no scheduling for the tournament done yet, obviously. But just coming up on Speed Gaming too. In general, I don't know what's going on.
More a Link to the Past.
Probably more Link to the Past. There are some other tournaments. There's a bunch of really good tournaments going on. Link to the Past, Hat in Time, and other cool games.
So check out those if you want to start playing Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh yeah.
Pick up a controller, start playing. If you have any questions, feel free to join the DKR community.
Yeah, please.
Awesome people. Very, very fun.
Yeah, feel free to join the community Discord. I'll throw a link to it down. I'll throw a link to it in the chat here for everyone. So this is the DKR community Discord. Feel free to join if you're interested. If you're just interested in DKR at all. Yeah. So.
There's a Zelda 1 randomizer tournament that just started on Speed Gaming 3 and a Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland over on Speed Gaming.
Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland is one of my favorite games of my childhood. So yeah, thank you Speed Gaming for hosting all of our matches. I've been Dr. Fish, and for Trident and Sweener, good night everybody.
See ya.
Good night.